Next on the bench here is this Kenmore. This is Kenmore 14. It is a 385.12714090. Someone told me that 385s are Janome made machines, which makes sense. But this is a machine that was donated to the refugee group, and it was dropped off on my doorstep, so I guess it's time to see what there is around with it. I plugged it in and the light comes on, but as we flip the door open, there is a lot of hair in here and other stuff. So let's get our needle out of the way. There. That bobbin race is not bad, but I'll give that a quick clean up. Feel the hook. The hook feels good. The hook looks good. So I guess that's that. There's no bobbin case, so who knows? Oh, it's got the side lifter, not a back hook. So we'll get our foot out of the way there. And this machine is very dusty, so I'm going to get a rag and wipe it off real quick. And we got dials here. These two dials turn. Yeah, okay. And this stitch selector does not want to go any further than this here. And it looks like zigzag straight are oh, it's got the width of the zigzag is this selector. Okay. That's why it doesn't go any further, because it goes from straight and then as you slide it, it goes to the widest zigzag. Alright. Good enough. Let's turn this on and alright, moves under its own power. So there we go. Looks like we'll grab a rag and pop this open and clean it, and it might just be ready to go. Alright. Second screw off. There's our plate. It's got a 735011 part number. Alright. Well, it's very clean under here, so I don't know how much this machine got used, but we'll brush around, get all the hair out of there, and check behind it. There we go. And stick our hook back in. Now there's plenty of oil in there, and I gave a tiny wipe to this race cover, but that race cover was actually quite clean, so alright, and we've got good amount of movement on the hook there, so we'll just turn this on and run it a little bit. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Okay, because I spy on top here a couple screws, I'm going to see about opening the top of this machine and lubricating it. I pushed on this reverse button, and this reverse button is pretty stiff, so I'm going to try and get in there and loosen that. And then it's got a nice clicky clutch on the hand wheel too, so I think, yeah, disengaged, and it does the bobbin winder. So I think this machine will be a quick tune-up. Okay, you can see on top of this Kenmore 14 is one screw here, and there's a spot underneath the handle, and this cover goes around like this, so I think the screw is only going to open up one square up here. It does have just a pop open cover on the head with the light bulb for replacement. And I think the screw is going to just that cover has bobbin winder and the retractable spool pins for quick bobbin winder tire replacement. So that's nice there. And we can see there's access to, there's a hole here to put a drop of oil on the top of the crank. And access to put a dab of oil on the bearing there. And so we can oil the top end of the machine from here pretty easily. And the machine sounded really good and is not very old, so it's probably not in need of further tear down and work as far as oiling goes. Because like I said, it sounds pretty nice, and it's a newer machine, so without signs of heavy use, the lubrication that was installed at the factory is going to be good. That is one of the nice things about modern machines. They do the quote-unquote lifetime lubrication, and that means that they're good for quite a while under home use. The trouble, of course, with that is that everything's sealed up, and some of the early machines, like the Viking that was on this channel earlier, 25, 30, 35, 40 years is long enough for all that lifetime lubrication to expire, and then you have to get the machine open to lubricate it anyway. Okay, that top cover on the Kenmore 14 here didn't get us full access to the places we could lubricate. And remember, I said that reverse button was stiff, so I think that the secret answer is going to be this panel here, because this machine has a cast metal frame on this. The back side is laying down, it's laying on its back, and then it had the plastic cover on the front, a plastic cover on the end, and this plate here for access to the motor here, but more importantly, the rock shaft and everything, including the reverse part for the feed dogs. So So with this laying on its back, I can reach in there and oil everything. And I'm pushing on the reverse lever while I put oil on everything that I can reach and see in here. So that it's working its way in to that sticky spot. All right. So I've oiled everything in there, and this button is working a little bit better. So I think a little time that fresh oil is going to work into that reverse lever and it'll start working better. I'm still not satisfied with how that reverse lever works, so I'm going to make one more effort to get at it. And to do that, I need to take this end cover off. So there was a screw on the bottom and this screw in the middle that went here. And as you can see, this end cover gets us access to the belt, the switch, and then most importantly, here's the reverse lever. And we can see, let me move this. Okay, the machine is laying on its side, and we can see down in here, that arm is the reverse lever, and there's a linkage back in here, and that has the reverse block in it. And I'm gonna oil that, and also there's so much animal hair that's gotten inside this. I'm gonna brush this end of the machine out too. Let's see. Alright, let's get ourselves a stitch test on this Kenmore 14. First, we'll put our foot back on. This is a low shank foot. And then we needed a bobbin case because this machine did not have a bobbin case in it when I got it. I'll get that loaded up. It's a plain, very generic class 15 bobbin case. So just put that in, make sure it's snapped in place. The thread drew up, so that's a good sign. Let's see, we're set at our maximum width, so let's set it to a short stitch. And my plastic table is very soft, so, but we got here on upper tension 4, we are getting actually a pretty even stitch because I got white thread on the bottom. So we're getting our dark thread stays on top, and it's getting pulled a little bit underneath. You can see the row there, but it's not skipping any stitches left to right, so that's a good sign. And let's turn our knob all the way to stretch. And we've got an L to an S adjustment for stretch, so this should be a short stitch. Yep, and that is doing a stretch zigzag. So we got that, and then we can set it to our straight stitch, and that should get us forward and back. And also a plain straight stitch. Excellent. So it's got a left straight and a center straight, and then the buttonholes. And why isn't it letting me select? The selector is not turning as far as it should. Because it should. It's got all these stitches displayed, but the selector doesn't turn. It goes from our buttonhole, and then it only gets to that far, but it doesn't want to turn any further. Alright, I guess we will have to open this machine up and see why the selector doesn't go any further. Interesting. Alright, well, yeah.